Did you know that a canned water company once got more attention than most beer brands by pretending to be more dangerous than beer itself? Liquid Death started as a wild idea from a former Netflix creative, and in just a few years, it's gone from a metal concert novelty to a $700 million brand, all by selling mountain water. No sugar, no caffeine, just pure H2O wrapped in skull-covered cans and unapologetically weird marketing. In this video, we'll unpack how Liquid Death hijacked the rules of beverage branding. From making a commodity feel like a cult, to going viral without looking like they even tried, to building a loyal fan base that actually pays for merch from a water company. Buckle up, because we're about to murder your thirst for business knowledge. Liquid Death wasn't born in a boardroom. It was born in the mind of Mike Cessario, a former Netflix creative director with a background in punk and heavy metal. Cessario noticed something strange at music festivals. Even the cool crowd would drink water. But it always came in boring little plastic bottles that looked like they belonged at a PDA meeting, not a Slayer concert. So, in 2017, in Los Angeles, he decided to fix the problem no one was talking about: how to make water look cooler than soda or beer. His theory? If you package it in a tallboy can with skulls, flames, and a tagline like "Murder Your Thirst," you could trick people's brains into thinking that they were buying something dangerous, instead of the world's safest beverage. The early days weren't smooth. Investors laughed, literally laughed at the idea of punk rock water. Beverage distribution is notoriously brutal, and shelf space is a blood sport. Cessario didn't even try to launch with a massive production run. Instead, he tested the concept by printing a few prototype cans, making a fake ad for Liquid Death, and dropping it on Facebook. The video, featuring a grinning man chugging water like it was a keg stand at the gates of hell, went viral, racking up 300 million views in just a few months. That fake ad convinced early believers that the idea wasn't insane. It was viral by design. By 2019, Cessario officially launched Liquid Death, first selling exclusively online, then pushing into music festivals, tattoo shops, and eventually grocery stores. The brand wasn't pivoting in the traditional sense. It was doubling down on its weirdness, betting that in a crowded beverage market, different was better than better. At its core, Liquid Death sells water. That's it. Mountain water from the Austrian Alps, and a sparkling version for those who want their hydration with a side of fizz. No electrolytes, no fancy ionized supercharged alkaline nonsense, just water in a tallboy aluminum can. The genius isn't in what they sell, it's in how they sell it. Cessario built the brand like an entertainment company that happens to move a physical product. In other words, the marketing is the product. Here's how the money flows in. Retail sales through supermarkets, convenience stores, and events, their biggest revenue driver. Direct-to-consumer online sales, including subscription plans for people who want a fridge full of Murder Your Thirst delivered monthly. Merchandise, and not as an afterthought, Liquid Death makes real money selling t-shirts, hats, hoodies, even limited edition skate decks and NFTs. In fact, merch sales have occasionally outperformed their beverage sales during certain campaigns. Collaborations. Everything from celebrity partnerships like Tony Hawk's blood-infused skateboard deck stunt to limited edition cans with artists, which double as both marketing and revenue streams. The unique selling point? They've turned plain water into a rebellious lifestyle brand. Instead of chasing the pure refreshing angle every other water brand uses, Liquid Death leans hard into the humor, absurdity, and a little bit of shock value. Their ads feature exploding heads, fake horror movie trailers, and slogans like "Death to Plastic." It's sustainability, but dressed in leather and covered in tattoos. As for the audience, they've nailed the 18 to 35 demographic, especially those who see themselves as countercultural but still care about health and the environment. Gen Z loves the irony, millennials love the sustainability, and both love posting a tallboy can of water on Instagram because it looks like beer, but says something different about who they are. It's a textbook case of how to make a commodity feel exclusive. Don't just sell the thing, sell the story people want to tell about themselves when they buy it. Liquid Death didn't do marketing in the traditional sense, they weaponized it. Instead of buying boring billboards or chasing paid ad clicks, they acted like an internet prankster with a production budget. So let's break down their strategies. Their key channels is that they went hard on social media, especially Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, but not with polished corporate videos. Their content looks more like Adult Swim sketches or Jackass outtakes than beverage ads. They post fake horror trailers, absurd PSAs, and darkly comedic animations. The goal? Not to sell water, but to make content that's entertaining enough to share even if you hate water. And here's the clever part. They even used Etsy. Yep, the arts and crafts marketplace. They sold joke products like Liquid Death branded air fresheners, giving them a quirky anti-corporate feel while reaching audiences who'd never walk down the bottled water aisle. Secondly, viral moments. One of their most notorious stunts was partnering with Tony Hawk to create 100 limited edition skateboards painted with his actual blood mixed into the red ink. The boards sold out within hours, got international media coverage, and cemented Liquid Death's will do anything reputation. Then there's their Greatest Hates album, a real vinyl record where heavy metal brands scream Liquid Death's one-star customer reviews word for word. It went up on Spotify and actually charted. That's the brand in a nutshell. Turn negative feedback into free publicity. Collaborations. Liquid Death partners with music festivals, tattoo conventions, extreme sports events, and even fast food chains like Arby's, but always with a twist. They've teamed up with nonprofits like Five Gyres and Thirst Project, trying their Death to Plastic slogan to actual sustainability work. This keeps them from being just shock value. There's some real mission under the mayhem. Smart tools and tactics. They've embraced a direct-to-consumer tech stack that lets them run micro-campaigns targeted at very niche communities, from skaters to gamers, without needing massive TV budgets. They also make heavy use of content repurposing. One ad shoot would produce dozens of short clips, memes, and GIFs, letting them stay constantly in the feed without constantly shooting new content. In short, Liquid Death's marketing isn't about chasing everyone. It's about owning the people who get the joke. And when you nail that audience, they'll do most of the marketing for you. For a brand that started with a fake ad and zero product in 2017, Liquid Death's numbers are now very real. Revenue went from about $3 million in 2019 to $45 million in 2021, then exploded to $130 million in 2022, and an estimated $263 million in 2023. Projections for 2024 put them north of $330 million in sales. Profitability? Not quite yet. Like many fast-scaling consumer brands, they're pouring money into growth, but investors aren't sweating it. After a $70 million Series D in 2022 valuing them at $700 million, they raised another round in 2024, pushing that valuation to roughly $1.4 billion. That's unicorn status for a company selling canned water. So what were their milestones? First, there was their product launch in 2019 after a viral prototype campaign. They hit $1 million in revenue in less than a year without traditional distribution, expanded to over 60,000 retail doors by 2023, including giants like Whole Foods, Target, and 7-Eleven, international expansion into Canada, the UK, and Australia. Liquid Death shook up the bottled water industry, which historically relied on pure and serene branding. Competitors like PepsiCo's Life Water and Neste's Essentia have subtly leaned into bolder and more modern aesthetics, a move that feels suspiciously inspired by Cessario's Make Water Dangerous playbook. And perhaps most importantly, they've proven that sustainability can sell if you market it like a party instead of a lecture. Reviews are split. Fans rave about the taste, branding, and mission. Haters call it the dumbest idea ever and complain about paying $2 to $3 for water in a beer can. Liquid Death, of course, takes those one-star reviews and turns them into merch, ads, and albums. In other words, criticism isn't a PR problem for them, it's a raw marketing material. So how did Liquid Death turn plain water into a $700 million, now even billion-dollar brand? They didn't just sell hydration, they sold an identity. They wrapped a community in a story so bold, you couldn't ignore it even if you tried. The playbook looked kind of like this. Find the gap nobody else thinks is worth filling. In this case, make water cool. Market like an entertainer, not a vendor. Lead with jokes, stunts, and shareable moments, not product features. Turn your haters into your hype team. Those one-star reviews became music albums, merch, and viral posts. Bake your mission into the mischief. The death to plastic message gave them substance behind the style. For you as an entrepreneur, here's the lesson. In a crowded market, being better is good, but being different is unforgettable. And if you can make people talk about your brand when you're not in the room, you've already won half the battle. If you found this breakdown useful, hit subscribe, drop a comment with your favorite liquid death stunt, and check the links in the description for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating businesses. Now, go out there, murder your thirst for business knowledge. If you like this breakdown, you'll want to stick around for the next one. We're looking at another brand that took a boring product and made it a cultural obsession. Thanks for watching Business Decoded, and until next time, keep questioning the obvious, keep spotting the weird opportunities, and as always, stay thirsty. In the business sense, of course.